stuff is possible. Hi, Salem. Yeah? Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my studio. This is my studio. I am Monique, this is Salem, and today I wanted to make a studio vlog about how I make money as an artist. Believe it or not, YouTube, I don't make any money on YouTube anymore. There was a time where I used to, but due to me changing and the platform changing, I don't rely on YouTube as income anymore. But I am a full-time artist, so I wanted to show you guys the things that I do as an artist to provide for myself and make money. I also thought it would be fun to make a studio vlog in this space because pretty soon I will be leaving it. I am going to be moving to Florida very, very soon, so I wanted to kind of make at least one vlog type video in this space so I could remember it as it is. Please disregard all the mess because I am in the process of moving and everything is just all over the place. So on the agenda today, I need to run to one of the local shops in Salem because I sell my prints there and I need to see if they need to order any more. Second thing I need to do is package up some Etsy orders, and I'm going to show you guys my Etsy shop and some of the stuff that I sell. Then I need to work on a commission that I'm doing for someone. So pretty full day, not crazy, but definitely got a lot of stuff to get done. So we are going to jump right on into it. And as I go, I'm going to explain to you how these different avenues I use to the best of my ability to make money. Now, I do want to say, because I know someone's going to point this out, making money is not the most important part of being an artist, and I'm not saying that at all. However, I am an adult and I do need to provide for my family, and art is my job, so that is what I'm going into this for. If you are a hobbyist, or if you don't care about making money, that's totally cool. I think that keeping art as a hobby and then having a regular job is totally valid, and it works even better for a lot of people. So this is just what I personally do and how I personally go about my career as an artist. Also, take everything I say with a grain of salt because what works for me may not work for you, and try lots of different things because that's what I did, and that's how I kind of narrowed down what things are profitable for me. So hopefully watching me work will give you some insight, but definitely try your own thing and try it in your own unique way because that is how you're going to stand out from everyone else. And yeah, disclaimer is done. Let's get started with my day. So I'm on my way to the shop in Salem where I sell my prints. It is super cold outside, hence all of this. It's also super windy, so I hope you guys can hear this. But I'll take some shots along the way so you guys can see kind of the route I take. I walk there because it's so close, and yeah, let's go. So I went to Crowhaven. That is the store where I sell my prints. I actually used to work there too, but now I just sell my stuff there. And it's a really cool shop. They have a lot of different artists who kind of sell their work there in different ways. There's people who sell prints like me, and people who sell like different kind of witchy things like witch bottles. We have some jewelry makers, stuff like that. So it's a really cool place. If you're ever in Salem, highly recommend you go check it out. What I will do is I will pop in and take inventory of the prints that I have in stock. Excuse me. I will see which ones they need and maybe which ones aren't selling as much. And then I will talk to the owner of this store and we'll talk about like how much she wants to order, which specific prints she wants to order, all that kind of stuff. And then I will go home and I'll make a little spreadsheet of all of the prints that I are going to give to them. Blah. And then I'll print out 2 copies, one for my records and one for the store records. And then I will bring those and the prints to the store, and that's it. She pays me upfront for them. We did do consignment for a while, and consignment just means that I get paid for each print that is sold. So I will give them, say, 10 or so prints, and then I won't get paid for those prints. And then next time I go in, say if I sold 3 of the prints, she would pay me for 3 of the prints, but not the 5. So a lot of people will do this when they're trying to test out if they want to sell stuff in their store and kind of gauge how popular it's going to be. So it is very common. However, of course, it is much more preferable, I would say, in my opinion, to get paid upfront instead. So that is luckily what we do now. Now that she knows that my prints do sell, she just pays me up front, so I'll bring the prints in and she'll write me a check for how many, and then I go home and then rinse and repeat. Next on the agenda is I'm going to start packing some Etsy orders, and I want to show you guys some of the new stuff that I made and some of the stuff that sells well in my shop, and also some of the stuff that sells maybe not as well. And I'm also going to talk about selling at conventions in this little section too, only because I have the same merchandise for both my store and for what I sell at conventions, and I think it'd just be helpful to talk about both, because I do make money at both, but I don't have any footage of me selling at a convention, so this is the best that I got. Foot. Oh yes, I touched your foot. Ow, excuse me, I'm sorry. So up here I've got my shop dashboard, and this is through Etsy. That's where I sell all of my stuff, at least for now. And this is just my kind of dashboard, and it shows me how many views I've gotten, how many visits, how many orders, and my revenue. And I'm not going to show you guys too much more, only because the rest would contain sensitive information, and I don't want to give out my customers' names and addresses. That would be horrible. But basically, this is where I have all of the information for what I've sold, who I've sold it to, and where I'm going to send it to. I can also look at all of my listings that I have. So this is all the stuff that I'm currently selling on the website. And this is where I can edit the prices and the quantity and stuff like that. So I will also be having a 25% off sale off everything in my Etsy store, starting hopefully by the time this video goes out. And that is because I am moving and I want to get rid of as much stuff as possible before I move, so I don't have to take it with me. So that's why I'm having everything in my store be 25% off. That includes like all of my originals, all my prints, and all my little bits and bobs too. So hopefully running a sale like that will help generate some more sales, more so than I would usually get. Also, it is around Black Friday, time for the holidays, so I know people are going to be Christmas shopping, so that's also a good time to run a sale too, to kind of incite people to order from your shop. I am considering, however, switching from Etsy to my own like independent website, and that's just because there's some things I don't necessarily agree with Etsy doing, but that's a topic for a different video, so we're gonna focus on Etsy today. All right, so I did sell some prints, so I'm going to show you guys how I package these. I basically package them in 3 parts. I have the print itself, I've got a cardboard backing, and I have a plastic sleeve. So I just fit all of these into the sleeve, and while I do that, I'm going to tell you guys about the worst experience I had selling online. It was back when I was just starting out, so I hadn't really... Excuse me? No. It was back when I first was starting out, so I hadn't really learned how to do this quite yet. Stop it. So basically, I was just sending the print itself, no protection, in an envelope, and then selling that out. And I did that one time, and the package was going overseas, I think somewhere to the UK. I had sent it off, I thought it was all well and good, and then a few weeks later, I got a very strongly worded email because the package had gotten damaged in transit, and because there was nothing to protect the prints were ripped and crushed and crumpled and essentially useless. So I learned very quickly to always protect the prints that you're sending so stuff like that doesn't happen. And this is what I came up with. So the print is in the cardboard sleeve to protect it, and then the cardboard backing also helps prevent any folding or crinkling or anything like that. I also make sure to get the packaging, the plastic packaging, with a little adhesive strip. This is especially important for conventions. This comes up, and then, there we go. And then you just fold it down. But like I said, this is especially important for conventions because when people are at conventions and they're buying a whole bunch of stuff, they may not have a bag, and this is not going anywhere. It's not going to fall out. Whereas if you just get the plastic sleeve that you throw it in, it can fall out the bottom and then it can be lost to the convention scene forever. So that's how I package prints, both for conventions and for online orders as well. I use just really simple yellow bubble mailers. I got these from Amazon and they were super cheap, and I got them in bulk. And they just have like a bubble, can you guys see that? It has like a bubble inside, so it just helps cushion the stuff a little bit better. I will say the best seller in my store is this guy right here. This is my Wheezy pin. It's backwards for you guys, of course, but this is my top seller. I think a lot of people can relate to it. It resonates with a lot of people. Plus, this is a pretty niche product. So I made this for my cystic fibrosis pin series. I've also got this pin and this pin, and they're all pretty niche because I made them for my cystic fibrosis series. So if you search up cystic fibrosis enamel pin in the Etsy search bar, these are pretty much the first things that pop up. If you type in like witch girl art on Etsy, tons of stuff is going to come up because it's super popular and super trendy right now. But if you make something super niche like cystic fibrosis or asthma inhaler pin or something like that, not as many people are making that thing. So when people search for it, they have a smaller pool of people to choose from, and they're more likely to choose something that you made. Plus, it feels good to make something that doesn't already exist. And I think these are cool because, like I said, a lot of people appreciate them because it resonates with them, and there's not a lot of stuff like this out there. So I'm really proud of my Chronically Cute pin series. It's probably like some of my favorite work I've ever done. Speaking of that, I also have my new pins that I can't wait to show you guys. These were also kickstarted, and if you guys have been with me for a while, you knew it has been quite a hassle to get these guys because they were actually stolen the first time, but I finally have them now, and I finished the Kickstarter, and I can finally put them up on my store, and I'm very excited about them. I've got my Not Enough Spoons for Your Shit pin. This one was very, very popular, and I really love it. I've got Spoony Strong, which is just a spoon sword, and then I've got my Magical Girl spoon, which was inspired by like Sailor Moon and stuff like that. So super proud of how these came out. Love them. Now I'm not sure how well these are going to do in Etsy just because I haven't had them up for very long yet. So hopefully these will be just as popular as the cystic fibrosis ones, but I guess time will tell. These pins have done all right in person at conventions. I think that because people are going to conventions for stuff like either anime art or comic art, they don't sell quite as well, whereas on Etsy people can search for these and find them a lot better. So yeah, these are fun to have at conventions because I think they look nice and I'm proud of them, but they don't really sell that well. Next up, of course, we have prints, and I'm not going to pull any out because I have so many prints on Etsy that it would just take a while. However, I will say prints sell really well at conventions. They're probably the thing I sell most at conventions because people are looking for prints, they're looking for things to decorate their space with, and it's something that people are usually drawn to my table because they see my prints and they usually walk away with one. Prints sell decently on Etsy. They don't sell quite as much as the pins, but I do sell a good few of them. Ooh, I will show you guys actually a new print that I have. I just painted this. I'll have a speed paint coming out for this hopefully very soon, but I do have prints already up on my store if you see this and you would like to get it. But this is a new one that I made. I have a few new prints that I haven't shown on YouTube before, so I don't know. I like to throw them up there just in case anyone wants them, but I'm definitely going to have to rethink my strategy because there's some prints that just don't sell at all. I've also got originals for sale. Like this is an original painting on wood. I've got things like this as well. These, I have sold them on Etsy and I've never sold one at a convention. However, I do like to bring them to conventions because again, they make my table look nice. But these are definitely priced at a higher price point, usually anywhere from $100 to $200 depending on the piece. Of course, this one not as much. And because of that, of course, they don't sell as often. However, they will be 25% off in my store, so hopefully I can move some of these because these take up a lot more space than anything else. So I would love to be able to hopefully get rid of some of these and give them to some good homes. Next up is we have stickers. I'm so proud of these. I think these turned out really cool. Stickers sell great at conventions. Oh my gosh. These sell almost just as much as my prints do. I think these would be number 2 in what I sell most of. And I've got some sticker sets, which are really fun. This one's Halloween-y. This one's Animal Crossing themed. This one is witchcraft theme. And this one is vines. These are so fun. I am so happy with how these turned out. I've got the sticker set, and then I also made little pins too. And these also did really great at conventions. People loved these. It made them laugh and it made me smile. So these did really well too. I think little knick-knacky things that people can wear do pretty well at conventions, especially if they're kind of priced lower. For example, the whole set I sold 5 for $5, and I think the low price point and the memeability of these made them really, really desirable to people. Now, those are the big things. Those are the things that I sell most of. I do have a few other things that I've made. I have some other kind of pins, and I have like wooden and acrylic charms as well. I'm not gonna pull those out just because I've been talking long enough, and I figured I would show you guys the things that sell most. But again, everyone is going to be different. I've seen some people who make like little acrylic charms and they sell buttloads of them, and I've seen people who sell only prints. So again, try out lots of different things and see what works well for you, and definitely try out different things in different markets because even between conventions, it varies wildly between what sells and what doesn't. For example, comic conventions versus anime conventions, I kind of have to tailor my inventory for each one because the crowds are just very, very different. So it's really good to kind of imagine your place in a consumer's shoes and kind of think, if I was at an anime convention, what kind of stuff would I be looking for and stuff like that. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is commissions. So I have a commission that I'm going to be doing today. It is for someone who ordered a portrait of their wife, so I am going to be drawing that and talking about how I kind of go about commissions and some of the different avenues you can go through. I will also talk a bit about freelance work as well, because I am starting to do more freelance work, and I do consider the two to be slightly different. So I'm going to get my art supplies and start drawing, and I will talk you through it. So, like I mentioned, this is a 6x9 sketch commission. That is what I'm working on, and I actually met up with this person through a convention. So they enjoyed my work and they liked what I did, and I gave them my business card, and after the convention they emailed me and was like, hey, I would like to commission you, and that is how that went down. Conventions are a great way of networking, and that is a perfect example of why. You can get your work out there and then people can contact you on their own terms and you can kind of negotiate from there. I have had better luck selling commissions in person than online. Online, there's just so many people competing for that one job, and it can be really difficult to get that commission. So in person is a lot better because you can communicate with people and you can have a one-on-one conversation with them, and it's just easier to kind of sell yourself that way. I do have a whole video on selling your art and selling commissions and whether or not you're ready for that. So I'm not going to delve too much into that because I will just link that video instead if you're interested. Basically, it just goes into why someone would want to sell their commissions, whether or not it's a good idea for that specific person, and whether or not that person is experienced enough to work for a client instead of working on their own. Whenever I do sell a commission online, it has now gotten to the point where a person will reach out to me. So I consider myself very fortunate for that. But there are other avenues you can take. You can post with certain hashtags like commissions are open, stuff like that. There's a bunch of threads on Twitter that you can post your art in and advertise to, same with Facebook groups. It's just a game of getting your name out there and getting people to see your work, which again is why doing commissions in person is really helpful, because that's a whole bunch of networking right there. I also do a lot of freelance work, and I do consider them different. When I do a commission, it's usually someone coming to me and asking me to draw something because they like my distinctive style and they want something that kind of has that flair to it. And it's usually pretty simple, like a portrait or a drawing of their favorite character, stuff like that. With freelance work, it's usually me applying to jobs, and the job is more commercialized, I would say. I've done work for companies, I've done work for businesses, I've done work for other small business owners, and they want something very specific, and I need to tailor my skills to exactly what they want. So it's slightly different. The client base is different, and the skills that I use are different as well. I end up doing a lot more graphic design work when I do freelancing. I've done a few different t-shirt designs and a few sticker designs for different companies, and that is almost all graphics work compared to my traditional work, which is what I usually do commissions with. And I do use a website where I apply to freelancing jobs. The website I use is called Upwork, and it's been very, very useful for me. I've gotten quite a few jobs from there. On that website, you will have a list of available jobs, and you can click on it, read the job description, and then if you think it fits for you, you can submit your portfolio, and then that person can hire you all through the website. They do take 10% of all of your earnings. So for example, if your rate is $100 for the job, you will only get 90 and the other 10 will go to the website. I do think this is worth it, however, because I have gotten quite a few jobs through the website and I've made a lot of connections. So it's just another avenue that you can choose, but it's definitely not essential for freelance work. I just personally like to use it. The funny thing about the freelance work as well is that it's entirely portfolio based, whereas a lot of my commissions I get because they either know me through YouTube or they know me through social media, whereas when I do freelancing work, I don't mention my YouTube channel at all. They don't really know who I am or my name. It's all just what I show them through my portfolio. So it's very different avenues. It's essentially doing the same kind of work, but just in very, very different ways. All right, I hope you enjoyed this studio vlog. I know it wasn't too exciting because I didn't really go anywhere much, but I mean, this is my entire studio. Let me see if I can show you. From here to here, that's my entire studio, so I don't have a lot of space to work with. Regardless, I hope this video helped you a little bit or showed you some insight into different ways you can make money as an artist and what I personally do. And yeah, it was fun to make, so let me know if you would like to see more studio vlogs. I will be moving next month across country again, so I'm gonna go pretty quiet until I get settled in my new place. So thank you guys for sticking with me till then. I appreciate it so much. Don't forget about my Etsy sale that should be going on right now, and that will be it. I don't know how to say words. Bye from me in Salem. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.